Hello, YouTube. Welcome to the FPL Pubcast, where every Wednesday at 6 o'clock we are here to preview the upcoming game week. This week, of course, blank game week 31, the first of the season, I do believe. Joining me as usual is Nick. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, great. Just been for a run. 5K run, 50 press-ups, 7 a.m. all ready to go.
Feeling boosted and powerful. That's what you were, because I was texting you and I was thinking, is he still in bed? Like,
Yeah. Oh, no. I'm up at like 5 a.m. every day. So.
And joining us, a very special guest. A very different channel. If you want to join him to watch FPL, it's in the middle of the forest or the desert outside a camping van. He is, I do believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, FPL Harry's favorite FPL channel. It's FPL Camper. Do you want us to call you Camper, mate, or your actual name?
Yeah, my actual name it's Ideal.
Ideal.
FPL Camper, I think everyone knows me. Yeah.
How are you doing, mate?
Good. I'm very excited. Thank you for having me. First time doing a stream, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. It just you can't edit if you say something stupid or whatever.
No.
Not that ever happens here, does it, Trig? Does it?
Yeah.
Perfect stream. It goes on. So in this one we are going to have a look at how we got on in game week 30. We're gonna have a look forward, preview the game week, talk a little bit. I know most people aren't going to free hit this week, but I put together a bit of a free hit draft, if nothing else, so we can see the sorts of players maybe we want to target this week. We'll talk about captaincy. We'll have a look at our Pubcast differentials as usual. And then we will look at our planned moves for game week 31. So before I do that, I'll say a quick hello to people in the chat. Not many joining live so far, I guess, because Andrew and my beloved Newcastle are currently playing Barcelona, aren't they? Yeah, they are, mate. Yeah. So hi to Chris, hi to Eddie Casey there. Hi to Craig, hi to Prodigy, hello mate. Matthias, hello, Alex, Erkan, Shushant. Apparently we've just equalised. I haven't got it up. I'll have to try and
I didn't even know it was on. That's pretty bad timing there, Gary. Pretty bad timing for the
8 o'clock Liverpool run. Like we couldn't really. I don't know why the Champions League matches are at 5:30 this year. It's never happened before, is it?
There normally is one, I think, isn't? I don't know at this late stage whether they always had one. I know they always had in the early stages.
I know, like in Eastern Europe,
game like this, though, is it?
That's what I mean. I know you have maybe an Eastern European team or Norway, maybe they might change the time. But when it's like two teams in England and Spain, you wouldn't have thought that, would you? But
yeah, especially at this stage.
Sorry, I don't.
Yeah, at this stage in the 8th of the final, like it's weird to have a spot.
Someone's just scored. So I was watching it and it changed.
It's 2-1 for Barcelona.
Barca 2-1. Well, we'll keep an eye on it as we go along. Hopefully people will watch back on the replay. Please do like the stream to help get it out there and subscribe if you're new around here. So we go through how we got on from best to worst Ideal on this show. And unfortunately for you, you are bottom of the pile this week. So you're on 51 points, Raya on 7, Nunes 2, Gabriel 9, Virgil 2, Enzo 2, Dango 8, Salah 2, Captain, and Burmo 2, Fernandez 10, Thiago 6, and Ekatike 1. Yeah, talk us through it, mate. What were your transfers? And quite a few people captain Salah in the big content creators, didn't they, this week?
I know, and I moved early, 2 days before deadline as well. I mean, my thought process, so I sold Haaland for Ekatike and Rodgers for Salah. And my thought process was that Liverpool was about to face the worst Tottenham that we've seen probably ever since I started watching football, who were very down. And also, I felt like Liverpool needed a boost before their Champions League games. This was the perfect opportunity to just go and try and smash them to get a bit of morale boost before the Galatasaray, but I was not expecting it. Both Ekitike and Salah bench just was and my season wasn't going well anyway, so I needed to take a bit of risk. I feel I do this every week, but when I play it safe, it doesn't go my way. When I take a risk, it doesn't go my way. It's been just very unlucky season this, and those were my two transfers that I made. I was going to move for Hill of Bournemouth and bench Mateus Nunes, but I thought maybe better rolling the transfers. I can have 2 free transfers now before the blank, and things can change. So I played Mateus Nunes instead of Malik Tia again. You would think before the game week you would think that that's a good decision. Tia was playing Chelsea away and Nunes West Ham away. So it's just every move that I make, I feel. But the last on Monday, I was outside of a million, but Dango Otara helped me a little bit because he got 3 bonus points. So that just put me a small green arrow, the smallest of green arrows.
Oh.
But it's just hasn't been a good season.
Because you could play. You were 4K last year, weren't you? We were just saying before.
I was 4K last season. It was we were talking about the opposite. Last season, I think from game week 7 up to wildcard 31, I green after green after green. Every move that I was making was just a hit. And it seems to be the opposite this season. So it's just one of those seasons. Yeah.
Nick, what did you think? Because you were thinking about doing the Salah thing, and then were you surprised? I think, what was it? Raptor did it, Focal did it, Let's Look FPL, and Captain him. And I think Raptor did it as well, but didn't captain him. Were you surprised by that?
No, I mean, it was tempting. I was tempted myself. It was just some minutes. I mean, I'm not as high on Salah as some. Like we had Trout on last week, who was big on Salah.
It was all over him, wasn't it?
But I feel like Salah's dropped so much. For 1 week, he was a decent pick. I mean, if he'd played, he could have got points. And we didn't. None of us expected 1 each, let's be honest, or whatever the score was. So it's just one of those things. But personally, I'd rather save the transfers myself. But I can see why people did it. I mean, it was recommended on review as well, I think, wasn't it? So
I think so. I didn't
think Salah in.
Yeah, I didn't recommend it to me because I only had 1 free transfer, but I imagine with the points, it probably would have done.
Yeah. If you had 2 free transfers, it was all for Rice out and Salah in and Haaland out. João Pedro in for me, it wanted. But I can see why Ideal wanted to do it, because he had Rodgers, and Rodgers has been absolutely awful. So.
I brought him in. I played my wild card in... what was it, 21? Game week 21? And I brought Rodgers in. He returned 1 game week only, a 10-pointer, and that's it. It's been just awful. And also, which game week was that one that Haaland got benched? Because I remember I brought Virgil van Dijk that game week, and I just didn't even notice that the vice captaincy went automatically to Van Dijk. And that same game week, almost everyone had vice captain Bruno Fernandes. So I got damaged. Yeah. And this week I vice captain Bruno Fernandes, and Salah comes on.
It's such low, isn't it?
I know, it's just typical.
Okay, let's move on.
I saw a team very like this one on Reddit last night, the team of the week with the lowest score, and it had 21 points. And it was incredible because it was just like our teams, really, but obviously with 1 or 2 differences. And it just got 21 points, and it just shows it can happen to anybody any week. So I don't think 51 if a captain fails that bad. Like you said, you've got a green arrow still. So
yeah, when you're at this rank, I think it's easier to get a green arrow. But I think if I was somewhere,
quite a big average score this week, wasn't it? I'm imagining.
You're still in the top 7% of all managers, so you're not doing too terribly.
Thank you.
Okay, should we have a look at my team? So I mean, Trig, I'll bring you in on this in a sec, because you were talking about risk versus not being risky in your excellent video yesterday, and I wasn't risky this week. I didn't go for the Salah move. I rolled and got 63 points, which was a smallish green arrow. So I'm on 168k. I got Kelleher 1, Gabriel 9, Virgil 2, Timber, really the main frustration, coming off with just 1. Dango 8, Fernandez captain for 20. Sabozlai, who Nightmare texted me earlier, Trig, 49 points in the last 8 game weeks. He's doing
Who's
well.
that?
He's doing well. Sabozlai.
Yeah, he has been doing well. Like I think
yeah.
D-Unit was saying he's been a bad pick, but I don't think he has.
Enzo 2, Ekatike 1, Thiago 6, and Haaland 2. I mean, I guess the other frustrating thing is I don't think I've had this many points on my bench this year. Dubravka 6, Stack 5, Anderson 7, and Hall 5. But I was never going to, so 23 points on the bench, but I was never going to bench boost because Anderson was a doubt. Craig, any thoughts, mate?
I think I might have benched Enzo if I was you. But I mean, this is hindsight, but I think I would have, because I don't like Enzo much. So, and they were playing Newcastle. Stack, I probably would have played.
I was praying for Ekatike not to come on.
Yeah, I mean, if they hadn't come on, then you would have been in. No, it looks very good. I can see why you rolled. You only had 1 free transfer, so you couldn't, which was a good thing for you, wasn't it? Because you didn't have the kind of decision to make about.
Didn't have a temptation, yeah.
Because there's a lot of FOMO about. I mean, it was very difficult to resist that move, just from a fear. I mean, seeing how bad Tottenham were looking and everything else. But we forgot that Liverpool haven't been good, have they?
No. You said in your video yesterday, historically, when you were reading back, the conservative sort of approach is maybe the way to go. That'd be a fair way of summarizing the video, Nick?
My video yesterday, yeah. Basically, yeah. Rather than taking risks, playing it safe with your captains, having in the high ownership players that the good players have got, and not chasing differentials. It's a boring way to play, but I think it is the most effective way to play the game.
I watched the video as well, by the way. It was very nice. It's the problem I think this season has been with the expensive players have not, because usually we would have every season the likes of Saka, Palmer, Salah. They've just not been good, and it's been so unpredictable. Bruno Fernandes was a no-go at the beginning of the season, and suddenly it's become a must-have. Haaland was a must-have, and now he's dropping off. So it's been João Pedro had a long dry spell, and then just when everyone sold him, he started returning. It's been so hard to predict, which is good in terms of FPL being unpredictable. But for someone like me, I think it's been a bit rough because I was always in the wrong end of everything. It felt like it, at least.
It's 2-2. Alanga's equalised. It's going to be pretty.
Nice. Wow,
we're missing a good game.
Yeah,
only 30 minutes gone.
Barcelona often have scoring matches, don't they?
Let's move on to Trig's team. 65 points. You're carrying the podcast this season, Trig. 36k. He's got Sanchez on 3, Gabriel 9, Virgil 2, Lacroix 9, Rice 3, Dango 8, Fernandez captain 20, Elliot Anderson 2. I finally figured out the difference between Anderson and Anderson. Haaland 2, Ekatike 1, and Thiago Vice 6. Yeah, talk me through it, Trig.
Yeah, I think it was somebody said Scandinavian is always with an E, and ever since I heard that, I now know which one's which. So I was very happy with Lacroix in particular because I held on to him just for this fixture, really. And you said last week, didn't you, that you were a bit jealous of me and Trout having him, and it came off. So he got 9 points. So that was quite pleasing because it covered Hill, who everyone had the day before. And Dango as well was a very nice surprise. I wasn't expecting much from Dango yesterday, but he came good with a nice little 8-pointer, didn't he?
Could have got more,
Anderson,
couldn't
yeah. Well, I didn't see the match, but apparently he could have done. He always looks very, very dangerous every time I see him. But Anderson of Forest, no DEFCONs, which is a bit of a worry. But I mean, I'm not going to get rid of him based on that. Rice scored in the Champions League, didn't he? He's done nothing since I've owned him in the Premier League. But we know he can score goals. It's just a frustrating timing issue as usual.
He was doing so well when he around Christmas. He was the player that I was most scared of in the game. I didn't own him. He's gone completely off the boil.
Andrew was talking him up, wasn't he? Telling us all how he was much better than Saka, and he was like scoring every week, wasn't he? And when we didn't have him, but as soon as we brought him in, he's kind of reverted back to normal. I guess that's what players do, isn't it? So yeah, pretty happy with this. I felt like it was a really dangerous week with people having Salah. You know, it felt like a lot could go wrong this week. A lot could go wrong. Captaincy was very difficult. And but the way it turned out was perfect because Semenyo was quiet. The City defenders were quiet. Your Kelleher was very quiet. I was worried about him. So all the players I was worried about didn't do anything. So 65 turned out to be very good. I went up from 50k to 36k. So I'm feeling like this is moving time now with the big chips coming up.
How far is the top 10? Okay.
I haven't looked, but I'm hoping I can get there now.
Yeah, I think you've got a decent chance. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's move on. So just sort of lay of the land thing at the minute. Obviously, this is Ben Crellin's infamous or famous spreadsheet. I don't know why it'd be infamous. So yeah, the reason I wanted to put this up is mainly because obviously we've got the blank this week. Crystal Palace and Man City, there is a very, very small chance if Crystal Palace lose tomorrow that they could come in. So I've actually got Haaland in my team at the minute. There's no point in not having him in, you know what I mean? In case that very small chance he plays. And then we've got the potential 32. The reason I wanted to bring this up was because there's been a lot of talk about, you know, whether or not to wildcard in 32, alternatively free hit in 33 and wildcard in 35 instead. And I figured out when I was making my members video on Sunday night, I would have to use, because most of us have not got, you know, if you look at the players that are playing, definitely playing in 38, Fulham, Man United, Aston Villa. Okay, we've got a lot of Brentford, Sunderland, we don't have Nottingham Forest. You're going to have to use, if you did that strategy of free hitting in 33 and then wildcarding in 35, you're going to have to use every single transfer between now and 33 to get a team out for 34. It just doesn't seem logical.
Isn't it wildcard 34 and bench boost 35? Isn't that the strategy?
Well, if you wildcard in 34, you're not going to be able to have any Man City player, any Newcastle players, any Arsenal players, or any Chelsea players, probably. So I think that is a strategy, but I don't see that. I don't see either of them as being viable, to be honest with you.
I've put them into Solio and had a look at all the different possible strategies. And whichever way I look at it, wildcard 32 comes out top. Even if I change the doubles, like if I say that Liverpool have a double instead of Man City, still it comes out saying I should wildcard in 32. And I think the bench boost is the best chip we've got. And it's not just that you can have doublers on your bench for the bench boost. It's that your doublers in your team are more likely to play. You know, if it's just one game, they could be rested or injured for a couple of days. So if we've got 2 games, you've got more security that you're actually going to get 15 players playing at least something. So for me, it's all about the bench boost, which means wildcarding in 32, bench boosting in 33. If you do it later, some teams are going to have nothing to play for. There could be more rotation. And I think it's just more uncertainty and difficulty getting 15 out. So I'm not even thinking about it now. I'm just doing it. As soon as
I agree.
As soon as the weekend comes around, I'm pressing that button. I'm not even waiting to see who's doing what. I'm just pressing the button, grabbing some prices and tinkering for 3 weeks.
I do. You said you use your wild card. Is that right?
Yep, I used my wild card in game week 21.
So how are you planning to navigate the rest of the season, chips wise?
I have no idea, to be honest. I'm just I'm gonna see how it goes, because it's not just the problem with the doubles and the blanks, but also so much is happening in the Premier League, and now City is out of the Champions League, Chelsea out of the Champions League, Arsenal still in the Champions League, but also going strong for the Premier League. So I have no idea. Like the double, Man City is playing Arsenal and possibly Crystal Palace or Burnley. If it's Burnley, it's much better, obviously. But and then Arsenal's got Man City and Newcastle. So it's, I mean, I have double Arsenal already, so I don't have to think of it. I think most of us have. In terms of City, now I just sold Haaland, so I'm going to have to think of, do I want to bring him back? But is it better to have Semenyo? Do I need Haaland in the team? I haven't thought of it through, really.
Would you be happy captaining Semenyo?
That's the thing. If Haaland continues with this form, I wouldn't mind, because I feel like Semenyo has been in slightly better form than Haaland in the Premier League of late. But I wouldn't feel comfortable. Obviously, you want to go with Haaland because it's the safer option. So
I have a feeling that the honeymoon period is over now for Semenyo.
For Semenyo, yeah.
I mean, he played every minute until this week.
And I think last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Pep's starting to realise that the balance of the team with Semenyo in is being really bad for Haaland. And if that does happen, and you haven't got Haaland, but you've got Semenyo, and suddenly Haaland's the main man again, it could put you in a bit of a tricky spot. But you're taking risks, so it doesn't matter too much either way, does it? But that's why I'd be reluctant to get rid of Haaland. We might see more Cherky and Foden and Haaland and less Semenyo going forward.
Yeah. I think in terms of minutes, Haaland definitely more secure, but his form seems to be, he hasn't been convincing, has he?
Mamouche hasn't been very good either over the last few matches. So I'm thinking Haaland's a bit safer than he might have been if Mamouche had been looking really good.
Yeah.
So I think we would all agree now it's probably not the perfect time to free hit. It's probably over 34 when there's you can see potentially 1, 2, 3, potentially a lot of blanks, potentially half the league will be blanking, or 33 to gain the best of it. But I put together a wildcard draft anyway, because some people will be doing it, and at the very least, it gives us some players to look at in terms of who we might want to bring in this week.
So I mean, this is one of the free hit draft.
Sorry, mate. Yeah. Thank you for correcting me, Trig. This is just a 6-point game, for example, according to FPL Review, above my team, which would make it not worth doing, in my opinion, anyway. But I'll read through the team. So it's got Ramsdale at home to Sunderland, Martinez at home to West Ham, Tete at home to Burnley, as is Anderson, Cash, who's currently yellow flagged, but he's at home to West Ham, Bogle at home to Brentford, Hall at home to Sunderland. I haven't actually put this into a team. This is the whole squad. Wilson at home to Burnley, Gordon at home to Sunderland, Palmer away to Everton, Fernandes away to Bournemouth, Salah away to Brighton, Thiago away to Leeds, Calvert-Lewin at home to Brentford, and Bowen away to Aston Villa. I mean, I will say, it does look like I'm not saying we should do it, but it does look like a pretty good squad. Do you think ideal?
Yeah. The Fulham players, I'm targeting myself. I think I'm going to move for at least Anderson, because I need the transfer to put on an 11. But I'm thinking of bringing in Wilson as well and captaining him. We'll talk about that later. But with Aston Villa, again, I don't know what's gotten into them. They were in such a high, and then suddenly the last few game weeks, they've been very unconvincing. They were very poor against Man United, I felt. So I just don't know what to expect, especially against the West Ham that is looking like they're fighting. They got a draw against City, and then they won. Was it in Fulham away the game before? So I don't know what to expect there. No. Newcastle, I think that's a good. I think if not Wilson, Gordon, second best option as a 1 week punt. But again, Chelsea, don't know what to expect. There's just been last night again. so poor. Palmer has been also unconvincing. Fernandes, I think most of us owned anyway. Salah, I mean, he should be starting at least now, because I feel like Klopp, not Klopp, Slot, sorry. Klopp has been gone a long time. Slot has no room for error now. So I think that Champions League spot is becoming spicy now, because both Chelsea and Liverpool drop points. So it's going to be, I think it's going to start now. Let's see what happens in the Champions League. That's going to be interesting. But I think Salah is going to start.
He's played the strongest team, don't know, in the Premier League.
And then Bowen, I think it's a good punt. I think Bowen. I like Bowen and Calvert-Lewin, both of them. Thiago, again, he returned last game week, but he had a dry spell before that. He seems to have this the entire season. He scored a lot of goals though, surprisingly, in the Premier League.
He's been called up for Brazil.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he did have I think the previous, how many blanks in a row? 3 or 4 before that. So it goes up and down. Yeah. But I like
Trig,
it. Yeah.
Trig, any thoughts on this?
I think Thiago's pretty much a season keeper at his price. I mean, I paid $6 million for him, so there's no way I'm getting rid of him. But it's a good-looking team. I think most people are looking at Malik Chow over Hall, aren't they? This week, he's one of the main ones people are looking at bringing in.
Hall's got an assist tonight.
Gordon's playing tonight, isn't he? So is Hall. So
yeah,
I'm going to have to see how that game pans out. I mean, we could have extra time, couldn't we, the way it's going? Salah, I'm not sure Salah is even in Liverpool's strongest team. I mean, I think Slot's had enough of him. He probably wishes he didn't have him at the club, to be honest, because it just creates confusion for him, doesn't it? But the only time Liverpool were good this season was when Salah was at AFCON. But he probably will play. But this Ramadan, I think, is making a difference as well, having to play so many games in a short period of time for him. I mean, both Ekitike and Salah are Muslims and are observing Ramadan, I think, aren't they? So, there's no guarantee.
Not affecting Dango's minutes, though, is it?
No, it did last time, apparently, but not this time. I don't think he's had so many games in short succession now. Like Liverpool players. But I think Ekitike is more rested because of his general kind of well-being, isn't he? And they don't have a backup striker. But Leeds defender looks good. Anderson's a very strong pick this week, I guess, isn't he? Cash is interesting. I mean, Villa have got Europe again this week, haven't they, on Thursday? So I'd almost rate West Ham as favourites for that match.
Really?
I mean,
they're doing well, actually.
I think what's his face is more focused on Europa League now. Emery.
Yeah, so, that's his competition.
Yeah, he wins it all. I put a thing on earlier. All the teams he's won it with have got Villa in their name. Villarreal and Sevilla.
Wow, that's
the only time he didn't win it was
meant
with
to
Arsenal.
Be. Yeah, true.
Yeah, so I think the takeover is it looks a decent side, but this is now not the time to use it. I mainly wanted to put that up for. I mean, to be honest, I was surprised it only predicted 6 points additional. I thought it would have been a bit more than that. You know what I mean? But yeah, so let's move on to this week's talking points. So again, a bit blank game week heavy, but that is what we've got. A 3-week break after this, haven't we? So it's really all on this. All talking points this week really are on this double game week. So I was wondering, say that you have got more than 3 Arsenal or City, in which case you're going to need to sell them. Or even if you're thinking of selling someone on your bench, who would you prioritise of keeping out of the Arsenal and City assets? Trig, I'll come to you with that one first, man. I guess how much money you've got in invested in the player in terms of rises is probably the biggest factor, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 things to consider, isn't there? There's who you want to get in and who you least want to lose. And I think stored value is important. So I wouldn't want to take Gabriel out because it would cost more to get him back. And I also don't want to take out Haaland for the same reason, really. I mean, if we find out he doesn't have a double game week, then there's a decision to be made about whether you even want him, I guess. But at the moment, I'd be more leaning towards taking out Rice if you still had him, Timber.
Injured.
And any other Man City players that you might own. Maybe not Semenyo if you own him. He might have accrued a lot of value as well. But basically don't throw away value and just take out the least important ones, really, who I'd consider to be Rice and Timber.
Adele, you've got Raya. You got a lot invested in him. So I imagine quite a few people, if they do have him, probably would be fairly invested money-wise.
Yeah, I didn't buy him the cheapest, I think, but I still got a couple of price rises, and I have Dubravka, which I'm going to play anyways.
Of course.
So I'm keeping Raya. Gabriel, obviously, I'm keeping. If I'd had Haaland, if I hadn't sold him, I think I would have kept Haaland. And then the rest, Trig said, Rice. I think I sold him 2 game weeks ago. Semenyo might be, depends how much value again you have stored. Might be a good one to keep. But outside
and Palace players, of course, they're probably the easiest.
Palace. Yeah.
I'm forgetting about. What did I forget about Palace?
Palace and Wolves. Yeah.
Yeah, no one knows Wolves players today.
I own money.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, some people do, don't they? So there are a few Mane owners around.
Yeah, because it was minimum, was it 4.5, and he was playing. So when I played the wild card, I brought him in, I thought. And he had scored 1 or 2 goals by that time.
So I think we'll come back to the punts. You're in a situation where you've got 10 players. So 2 questions. One, and you're not wildcarding, so you're in a different position to me and Trig in game week 32. Would you use a transfer to get someone in? And if you didn't have the transfers, say you have got the transfers, I imagine, but say you're missing 2 players and you've only got 1 free transfer, would you take a hit to get 11 players out?
Oh, difficult question. If I would take a hit, that would depend on the player. I think this game week with Fulham playing Burnley, it might be worth it. Anderson and Wilson, for example, as I said. But it would depend on the player. I don't like taking hits that much, so I would probably just go with a 10. If I missed 2, I'll go with the 10. But if I had 10 players, I would definitely use a transfer to bring in Field in 11, especially if I knew that the player coming in would have some point. Like Anderson, I feel like even if they concede, he's very likely to get DEFCONs. Although Burnley at home, you never know.
He'd likely pay you back, wouldn't you, the 4?
Yeah.
Like to hope for it. How about yourself, Trig?
Well, me and Trout were talking about that last week, weren't we? And basically, any player that is projected to get more than 4 points is worth bringing in. Right, if you can't get 11 out, it's worth to bring in any player. It's like statistically that is projected to get over 4 points. And if you already use your wild card, then you obviously want to find one of those that helps you going forward. So I definitely say that you would take a hit to get 11 out this week, provided the player was projected to get more than 4 points and helped you in future fixtures. I think it's pretty clear that that's what you should do in that situation.
And that would be Chelsea, Newcastle,
Brighton, like a Newcastle, perfect example. Just get a Malik Chow or a Gordon, both predicted to get well over 4 points this week, and will probably help you going forward.
Yeah. What about Trig? Because this is the situation I'm in. I've got 11 players, but I've got Hall. I'm not 100% sure who'll start. I've got, I'm trying to remember, Ekatike. Can't be 100% sure on him. I'm not gonna take a hit to get cover on the bench. I think that would be stupid. But I could take a transfer to get myself a 12th man on the bench. Would you do that A, in my position, if you're wildcarding this week, and B, if you weren't wildcarding, because obviously if I'm doing it, it's literally just to get the player in and put him on the bench, and then I'm going to wildcard him out. But maybe the situation would be different if you're not wildcarding next week. Do you get what I mean?
I'm in exactly the same position as you. I've got 10 players at the moment, maybe 9 if Tarkowski's out. But I do have three transfers, and I plan because I am wildcarding next week. So bench cover isn't worth it, basically. Like,
that's what I'm thinking.
Mathematically, it's not worth it. So you're better off just having 11 and hoping for the best. But if you're not wildcarding, and same thing applies, if you can get someone that's going to help you in the future, who you're going to get anyway at some point, then you're probably better getting that bench player in to help you. But the more transfers you have when you wildcard, the better. Because say we wildcard and a couple of players get injured and we're playing our bench boost in 33, we're going to have to make transfers to make up for that bench boost, aren't we? So using all your transfers now could be a bit silly. You know, they're very important to try and keep some, especially when you're going to be using them for a player that's going to have 2 games. So if you can save one this week, definitely save it. Don't waste it on a bench player.
And same question to you, Ideal, but obviously in your situation, when you're on with no wild card, would you take a transfer or even a hit for bench card?
No, I don't think so. I think I would just save the transfer, as I said, as Trig said. We need the transfer, especially at this part of the season, not just with the injuries, rotations, suspensions. A lot can happen. And, you know, we have the chips, the bench boost and all the other chips that we need to play. So they're going to be useful, I think, for later. I wouldn't use it.
It's 3-2 to Barcelona, Yamal.
Yeah.
Even half
penalty.
time, yeah.
Oh, I think it's half time now. In the last,
at least it wasn't Malik Chow who gave away another penalty. Looks like it was Harvey Barnes. Maybe not.
Well, so it's bringing back memories. You remember when they that PSG match in the semi-final, Barcelona, and then when they lost to Liverpool? They've had some really exciting knockout matches in the knockout stages, haven't they, Barcelona?
Yeah.
There's another goal. Is that another goal?
No, I think that was one that just went in.
Oh, no, it's the same one. It just refreshed, and I thought there was another one.
I'm going to give you both a question, and I've lost it where it is in my blooming thingy. This is John FPL Nightmare. He says, if you've already wildcarded and you only have 10 players this week, is it better? I guess this is similar, but it's a very specific question. Is it better to get a player in this week to have 11, even if it locks you in to a free hit 33 or 34? Or is it better to save the transfer, go with 10, and retain flexibility for when to free hit?
It's the same question. It's the same question. If you've got a player that's projected to get more than 4 points, then it's worth bringing him in this week, regardless of what you're doing in the future. So if you've got a choice of 10 or 11, you're silly not to have 11, basically.
Yeah, you agree, I do.
Yeah, I agree. And also free at 34, that's in 3 game weeks. It's just hard to know what's going to happen.
So if you have got a few transfers and you're in me and Trig situation, as in you're going to wildcard next week, this comes down. We don't really get, people often talk about punts, but it's not many times we get to do it. A 1 game week punt, 4 game week 31. We're not carrying them beyond there. Who would be your top picks? Ideal, I'll come with you for that one first, mate.
Oh, was I going first? I wouldn't look away from either Wilson or Anderson because they're playing Burnley. Yeah, it's just the fixture is so good, and it's at home. But Newcastle as well. But Newcastle might be tired from this Champions League, and injuries could could happen as well. They might hear we have a Friday deadline this week, so it's a bit not a Saturday one. So I think the safest option would be just Harry Wilson or Anderson. I just don't know what.
Great trick.
Yeah,
they're simply the best. So if you, they're just the best. So if you go different, yeah, exactly. But if you go different from that, you're just taking. I mean, obviously there are other players you could get. You know, you could get an Iwobi, somebody like that, or a different Fulham defender. I think D Unit's on about bringing in Robinson, for example. The thing is, I looked at all the projections and they're very keen on Newcastle, but I'm not quite as keen because I don't think any of the projection models actually take fatigue into account, do they? I mean, they take minutes into account, but they don't really take into account the quality of the minutes if a team's fatigued or feeling down in the dumps because they've lost 4-2 to Barcelona or whatever. So,
not so early.
I'm not quite as high on Newcastle as others, but the thing is, I already own Anderson and Wilson. So I wish I didn't, in a way, because it would be a no-brainer transfer. It really would be no-brainer, in my opinion, to get Wilson. But so I'm going to have to look elsewhere. And there are a few options. I mean, there's Cunha, could be a good option.
Yeah.
He's been
How many I got this week?
Even Tottenham, I reckon Pedro Porro. I mean, Tottenham are home to Forest. This is their biggest game of the entire season. You know, even a Richarlison, if you want to get rid of a striker you don't want, or
Bowen.
The differentials in that Tottenham team for 1 week could be a good punt, I think. So who else is you know, you get a Szoboszlai in, for example, or Leeds players, Leeds at home to Brentford, you could get Stack.
Yeah.
Calvert-Lewin.
Got Stack. There's one differential I actually got. Stolen off your Trig.
Yeah, so there are a lot of options out there.
Yeah, West Ham also.
Yeah, even West Ham or Villa. I mean,
Bowen,
I
I
think
guess.
the Everton's quite high on Watkins, aren't they, this week? But I wouldn't take Haaland out to get him. But, you know, that's like about 8 or 9 names right there, isn't it? So Cash, I saw one of you with Cash, I think. He's an option.
That was reviewed too. Matthews is a channel member, is asking us thoughts on Nottingham Forest players.
Yeah, again, Anderson could do well. What's the midfielder called? Gibbs
White. Yeah, he's
can't score goals. That's the problem with Forest, which is why I quite like Pedro Porro. But yeah, Romero's back, I think, as well, isn't he? But personally, I'm just playing it safe because I just want to get through this week, enjoy my 3 weeks off, and limit my potential for a red arrow, which would, you know, I mean, a lot of people are going to get Gordon in. A lot of people are going to get Malik Chow. So I'm just going to go with one of those. I don't know which yet, whether I get a defender or a midfielder. But,
so the last thing I've got to put down here is good, bad fixes the next 6 game weeks. I'm thinking this isn't really worth talking about because we don't really know what they're going to be, do they? You know, in terms of the doubles and the blanks. Is there anything you wanted to pull out?
It's more for people without a wild card, isn't it? I guess.
I suppose. But even they don't know what the doubles and blanks are going to be.
No, they kind of know the fixtures, though. They just don't know which game week they're going to be in.
Let me put out this table. I mean, yeah, I guess if you don't have a wild card, you're targeting Arsenal, Newcastle, Brighton and Chelsea at the moment, aren't you? Because we're not going to know. Man City have got decent ones, I think, haven't they? I mean, people are saying that Chelsea game's tough. I don't think it is. I think it's good for City attackers. But they might not have the double if they lose to Liverpool.
No, they might not have the double, but they'll still have a fixture.
We'll start a fixture. And I guess if you haven't got your wild card, you know
they don't have a
fixture
blank,
in
do they?
34.
Yeah, they won't have a
Yeah,
blank.
yeah.
So any team doesn't have a double, doesn't have a blank. So it kind of evens itself out, doesn't it?
Yeah. Any
'Cause
particular teams
some people might have to use a free hit this week, mightn't they?
I think there will be some. There definitely there might be more casual players, but there'll definitely be people who haven't planned. You're rubbing your hands together, weren't you? What was it you said to me off stream, Trig, in a text message? You went, "There's no, you definitely don't want it going into 31 because you want the non-planners to be punished."
Yeah. We definitely don't want Palace to be playing in 31 and Man City, because all those people with Semenyo will be the ones that haven't planned, and don't want them having a fixture. But Wolves look very interesting, and so do Tottenham, to be honest. I mean, they've got a great run in. I don't think Tottenham are going down with that run that they've got.
Sunderland, Brighton, Wolves, Aston Villa, Leeds, the next 5.
It's a lot easier than the other teams have got that are at the bottom. I mean, Forest are in deep trouble. But I think Wolves players, Tottenham players. Let's see. Man United, good fixtures, like Acuna.
Yeah, and Leeds are going to have something to play for right to the end, you'd imagine, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because Leeds are only a few points above, so they've got good fixtures. So, you've got Stack, Calvert-Lewin, Rodon. Bournemouth are rubbish. You want to get rid of them. You don't want to be buying them.
Adil, are you targeting double players, or would you be tempted into someone like Tottenham or Wolves who's not got?
No, not really. Not Tottenham. It's just, as I said earlier, it's so hard to predict, especially now. It's been hard already until now, but now it's even harder because Tottenham, Forest, and West Ham are fighting relegation. And then you have Chelsea, Liverpool. Who else is fighting for the Champions League spot? Villa, you could argue now, because they've dropped it a little bit. And Man United. They lose a game and they'll be in the race again. And then you have City, Arsenal fighting for the title. And Wolves, you could argue like that there's nothing to play for. But at the same time, they're playing with more freedom because there's nothing to play for. So I just don't know where to go. I really don't know. Bournemouth, as you said, rubbish, but then at the same time they didn't lose 10 games. What is it? 10 game unbeaten. Brighton maybe, but there hasn't been a team out there that's been consistent or that you can rely on a certain. One week they look amazing and you just want to jump into their players. The next week they look rubbish. So I'm not really thinking that. Yeah.
So if you don't have your wild card, like you don't, when are you going to bench boost?
Likely in 33. Yeah, so I'm gonna target. Yeah, I'm gonna target as much as doubles as I can, but I'm not gonna force my way into fielding an entire 15 with double game week players if I don't think that they're worthy. Because I did this last season. Every time I played that bench boost chip, it just puts me off the rails because I focus so much on having as many doubles as possible. But sometimes you're getting wrong players, and even they have bad fixtures or just the bad form just because they double and they don't necessarily bring out the points at the end. So I'm gonna try and focus as much on bringing the right players that I feel like they're gonna have good fixtures, even if they have a single game week. If I feel like they're gonna return a lot of points, I'll favor them over a double. Sorry.
Because right now you don't know for certain who the doublers even are, do you?
Exactly. I just have to assume.
Yeah, let's have a look. So you just want to get someone in this week who's got a good fixture in 33 who helps you this week as well. So I'd say Newcastle. Yeah, again, just go Newcastle because they've got a decent fixture in 33.
Yeah, I have Malik Tiar. And the only other option is I want to go for Harry Wilson for Enzo.
Yeah, of course.
But then I feel like Gordon is a better long term. Maybe not the best this game week, but long term. So I'm gonna have to make a decision there.
We're at Brentford in 33.
Just going to bring up a comment in the chat because I think this is from Guy D. Tryish. If I decide to work on in 32, should I hit the button as soon as 31 has passed? I don't know how the activation affects money in the bank and the value of the players I keep. So I can kind of cover that a bit. So if you activate your wild card, if you sell a player and say he's 7 million in the game, but you bought him for 6.5, so you're set. So he's now 6.7 in your team. Once you sell him, you'll get 6.7, but you'll have to buy him back for 7 million. So don't sell a player unless you're sure you don't want him. I think that's the main piece of advice. And once you've got players in the side, the value will affect you. They'll go up in the same way as usual. But anything I'm forgetting there, lads?
I think we should consider whether we should actually press it straight away or wait until we find out what's happening, because there could be a teeny weeny chance that we might not want to wildcard. I mean, we could hear, for example, that the games that we think are going into 34, into 33, don't actually go there. They might go somewhere else. And it's very unlikely, but if that were to happen, then you might want to, it would change where the ideal wildcard would be. So, because obviously you wouldn't want to set up a bench boost if there were like only one team doubling or whatever. So I think we should probably wait until we've got all the information in and the FA Cup games are finished before we actually press the button. But then we're going to lose out a bit of team value. But I don't think the team value is going to matter, is it really?
Yeah, I think there'll be a few transfers on, Sunday, Monday. Then everyone is going to fall asleep and forget about FPL for 3 weeks. I don't think there's going to be that much movement. So I reckon we can wait.
Other thing is wildcard transfers don't count towards price changes. And so many people are going to press the button. I don't think there are actually going to be that many price changes. There never normally is on an international break. It normally goes dead. And this is a 3-week break. So I think it's just going to completely die off. So I'm thinking actually now, having said at the start of the program, I was going to press it straight away. I don't think I am. I think I'm going to wait.
You're just desperate to play around with it, aren't you?
Yeah, I can still play around with it without actually.
You can do a team.
Play on FPL team.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I think it's probably best not to actually press it straight away until we find out who's doubling.
Yeah,
even if you press it, you can't take Haaland out, can you, to bring someone else in to make money, because you might still need Haaland.
Well, especially because they've got a small chance of doubling 32. So no way.
32 now.
Very small chance, 5 to 15% that Chelsea, the Chelsea Man City match gets moved into 32
instead of 33.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. See, it all makes it very tricky, doesn't it?
Yeah. Shall we move on to the game week preview itself? So this week, obviously, we only have 8 games. So it's a Friday night deadline. I think at 6:30. I may be wrong on that. Maybe 6. So you've got Man United, Bournemouth, Man United, slight favourites there. Quite close games this week, really, in terms of the predictions, at least. Liverpool, Brighton, Liverpool, slight favourites there. Fulham versus Burnley. Fulham with the highest predicted goals at 1.83, and also the highest predicted clean sheet odds at 42%. Clear favourites against Burnley. Everton, Chelsea favourites there. Well, again, there's not a lot in it according to these odds. Leeds, Brentford, Leeds very slight favourites there. Newcastle, Sunderland, probably the second highest predicted goals and clean sheet odds for Newcastle at 1.76 goals and 39% clean sheet odds. Clean sheet chance, sorry. Aston Villa, West Ham, fairly close, but Villa favourites there. And Spurs, Forest, again, incredibly tight, but Spurs very slight favourites there. So I'll do my usual captaincy poll, but I'll come to you first, Ideal. Who is your captaincy? What's your captaincy thoughts for this week, or is it on at the minute?
So if I don't bring Wilson, it's going to be Bruno. But if I bring Wilson in, I'm very tempted in captaining him, Harry Wilson. I feel like this is the best fixture you can get at home, Burnley. Bournemouth, as I said, they might be difficult to crack. They haven't been convincing attacking wise, but they haven't been losing. So I just don't know what that game could bring. But I think Bruno for me would be the safest option. And if you want to take a risk, go for a Fulham. Harry Wilson.
Trig?
Yeah, in terms of captaincy, I think it's got to be Bruno, although his away form has been nowhere near as good as his home form in terms of points anyway. But I mean, Wilson possibly is the best, but he's going to be a lot less captained than Bruno. So there's a lot more risk involved in actually captaining him. I think owning him's enough. So I will probably captain Bruno. Makes the most sense, I think, in my position. Other than that, it is Harry Wilson. I can't see anybody else really that I want to captain.
Paul, I've gone Bruno Wilson. Who should put in as the third option? Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon.
Oh. So yeah, let us know who you think best captain is: Bruno, Wilson, Gordon, or someone else. Because I think Anderson is the one that reviews recommending I captain if it's not Bruno.
Oh, if it's not
crazy.
Bruno.
If it's not Bruno, yeah. If it's not Bruno, he's on
which
like
Anderson? Fulham Anderson.
Fulham Anderson. Yeah, I haven't got Elliot Anderson anymore, have I?
Yeah, I think on Solo he was like the 5th highest projected point scorer this week. Elliot Anderson. I think Salah was 4th. I don't know who the other two were.
I got Salah. That's the other thing. It's just I don't know.
No,
I would move there.
it's too risky. I mean, you're not going to sell it, but I mean, it's too risky to captain.
Too risky. Yeah.
He didn't even enter my head when I was thinking about the captaincy.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't even come in my head.
I mean, could you have imagined this last season?
No.
Not even being considered.
Probably the week when he gets all his points.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be shocked.
See how he is tonight against Galatasaray.
Do you know the fault I have looking at these odds? Do you know when I looked at the review for E-Hit, and this looks good to me on paper, but it was only a 6-point gain over my current team. I think it's because if you look here, it's not looking, at least in theory. I know Darius, etc. hate these looking at this table, but in theory, it doesn't look like a very high scoring game week, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Like games.
It looks a nice, safe game week where no one's going to really do you any damage as long as you own the popular players.
Generally, the last few game weeks have been. I mean, this game week it was only Man United and Arsenal who scored more than 2 goals. United 3 and Arsenal 2. All the other games were 1-1, 1-0, 0-0.
Until the Brentford match, it was going to be one of the top 10 lowest scoring game weeks in Premier League history, I think.
Wow.
There were 12 goals because I looked it up on Sunday, but I think it got to 15 in the end. We just took it just above top 10.
Oh, yeah, that.
But actually, quite often, do you remember, Trig, once we looked, the only other time we said that, and we said there's going to be no goals this game, nothing's going to happen, then it ended up being like the highest scoring game week of the season.
Never tell, can you?
You can never read too much. Anything else you want to pull up?
At least we don't have to worry about Semenyo this week, which is a good thing, isn't it?
Anything else you want to pull out of this, lads, before we go on? No. Okay. All right. Let's move on to our differentials. So for yourself, Ideal, and anyone who's not watched before, this is where we pick out a 5% or lower owned player each game week, and then we keep a track of how we are doing. I don't know how, but somehow I wish me and Trig switch positions when we play this game. I'm the Trig of this game. I'm 119 points ahead. I had the top pick this week, who was Dango. Roberto, I think, is second. Well, it's pretty tight between Trig, Darius, Nightmare, and Roberto. Roberto got Anthony, who just got a point. Is that? Then I'm just gonna read out who you've got, because I wish Darius would put this into a table into order.
I don't think I even went for Sade last week. I don't know why he's got me down for him. I'm sure
you did. You beat me to him. The ironic thing was Nightmare picked. I don't know why I ended up on. I can't remember. Anyway, Trig's got Sade. Nightmare's got Frimpong on 6 points. Darius has got Hincampe got him an assist, to be fair, on 4 points. They're all around the same rank, and Kanji is off at the bottom, and he had Tavernier with 1 point. I will say he was a bit unlucky not to get anything from that. So anyway, more interesting. Let's move on to this week's differentials. So Trig's got Iwobi, Nightmare's got Stack, Roberto's gone for Gibbs White, I've gone for Gordon, Kanji's gone for Minter, and D Unit has gone for Raul Jimenez. So there was a little bit of controversy this week, ladies and gentlemen, because I decided every week Darius texts out, who are we going to pick? Who are we going to pick? And Trig is always the one who's up, because obviously they're in different time zones. So I went early this week. During the Newcastle match, I want Gordon, because on Monday night he was 4.7% owned. And then Darius texted me about 8 hours later. He's more than 5% owned, Gary. But you'll have to believe me, chat. He was only 4.7% owned during the game on Monday night. So I've got Gordon, who I think is pretty self-explanatory. He's got Sunderland at home. He's the player of the game week basis, isn't he, in terms of being talked about. So yeah, that's my justification for him. You've gone for Iwobi, Trig.
Yeah, I mean, he's a decent Fulham option, I think. That couldn't go for Wilson because he's over 5%, but Iwobi can be good on his day, can he? So, like you said, there's very few options anyway this week. I think with Gordon, we've got to be a bit concerned about his minutes. I don't know if he's playing as striker or not tonight, but I guess Elanga's probably going to get a benching, isn't he? He's putting a good shift in tonight, and they've just gone 4-2 down, by the way.
4-2, yeah. I've just had a look. According to BBC Sport, he is forward, option. Yeah. He's forward along with Elanga and Barnes.
Mm.
And
so you've got to think Voltamade or someone, or Visser will play at the weekend.
Quite possibly.
So, mind you, it's Sunderland local derby, isn't it? But
you think you could beat them? You don't think we'd need to play? I think we could beat them without Gordon. But yeah,
I mean, they might decide they've got more chance of winning without Gordon rather than having a tired Gordon, having a fresh somebody else.
I mean, he's been terrible all season. He's just had a couple of good game weeks, isn't he? He's been useless otherwise.
I owned him twice this season.
Really?
Yeah, and it was just rubbish both times.
Mm-hmm.
I gave him a second shot. The second time I brought him in, I was like, "This is going to be it," and it's just no.
Yeah, I might bring him in for a one. Well, I'm not going to bring him in, but I'd bring him in for 1 week pump. But if I was in your position and didn't have the wild card, there's no way I'd be wanting to bring him in. We usually ask our guests to comment on the other picks of the Pubcast crew on here. So what do you think of Stack there, FPL Nightmares pick? 10 DCs this season. Very impressive.
Yeah, I like it. He's been pretty underrated. It's kind of a bit under the radar. I think also team managers who own him, they bench him often when he returns a lot. But he's been pretty impressive. I like Stack.
Yeah, he's in my team, so I really like him.
Yeah.
Craig, I know you're a fan of Stack, the hero of your bench boost back there.
A 36-point bench boost.
Wow. I wonder why Candy's gone for Minter. I get home to Liverpool. Maybe he's just realised Liverpool are so rubbish. He's lost so much confidence in Liverpool. He's a Liverpool supporter. He's just decided.
Yeah.
I mean, I can speak. he got 2 goals and 8 assists this season, but I know he got at least 5 of those assists in the space of about 3 game weeks because I owned him at the time after my wild card. He's not quite been the player we may have expected. Gibbs White Trig, who Roberta's gone for. You a fan of that pick?
Yeah, that's not a bad pick either. We'll see which Tottenham turn up. I mean, that draw with Liverpool might have galvanised them into action, I think. But we shall see. I mean, they had a new manager, didn't they? Hopefully they stick with him. Be silly to get rid of him now, I think. But yeah, it might start coming together for them now. That's my feeling that I have. I mean, they're playing as well tonight, aren't they? So we'll see how they get on tonight, whether they make an effort or not. 3 goals down. Is it worth bothering to make an effort, or should they just play? And I don't think they've got many reserves, have they? They've only got about 11 fit players. So
yeah,
you're going to have to play everybody. A morale-boosting win, I guess, would be ideal, wouldn't it? Even if it's only 1-0 or whatever.
How many points are they off the relegation zone for us?
Just 1, I think. Just 1 point.
Just 1. It's very, 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 very tight now.
Yeah.
Very tight. You can't
please say with either them or Spurs, it'd be they're too good to go down at the start of the season sort of thing, wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think of Royal Jimenez, who's FPL units pick? Ideal.
We didn't even consider Jimenez when we talked about Fulham, so I think
we didn't, did we?
Yeah, especially now I'm thinking about my team because in terms of I'd like Wilson better, but I would have to sell Enzo for Harry Wilson. But if I sold Mane, I have a lot of money in the bank now because I sold Haaland. I could afford anyone. If I sold Mane, who's not playing this game week, I could bring in Raul Jimenez, and then I have a playing, so I would have a bench cover. Enzo Fernandez. So interesting, yeah.
Yeah,
13
makes good sense, I guess.
13 returns this season. It's more than I thought he had.
Yeah. It's gone a bit under the radar.
But going forward, though, he's not going to be much use to you, I think, outside of this game week.
Yeah. And
but
the
Mane
fixtures
could be quite useful. Mane could be quite useful for you.
Yeah. The fixtures also are not very good for Fulham after this one. But then you would think Harry Wilson, he's been good at returning in tougher fixtures.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry too much about losing Enzo Fernandez.
No, me neither.
Doing you a favour.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we move on to our teams and thoughts for this game week? So this is FPL Camper's team. He's got 2 free transfers, 0.5 in the bank. He's currently got 10 players. He's got 11 players, but 10 players with a realistic chance of starting. Bravka away to Fulham. Nunes is playing at the moment, but is in the team, but obviously doesn't have a fixture, we think. Chow at home to Sunderland. Virgil away to Brighton. Enzo away to Everton. Dango away to Leeds. Sunderland captain at Brighton. And Burmo away to Bournemouth. Fernandez away to Bournemouth. And then Thiago up front away to Leeds, along with Ekatike. And you've got Heaven of Man United on the bench, obviously, who has no chance of playing. So, yeah, talk us through it, man. I'm just going to pop to the ladies quickly.
Yeah. I just said I have a lot of money in the bank. I forgot I brought Salah in. I've got only 0.5 in the bank, so I can't really bring Jimenez, I think, for money.
Can you not afford Heaven to Anderson? Is that not affordable for you?
No, I don't think so. I think I could afford Heaven to Hill. That's all the money I've had, like 4.2, and I would have 0.0 in the bank because Heaven has dropped also. I brought him in the wild card at that time he was playing, and I thought he's going to be a third bench cover anyways. So I thought it would make it good to have players playing for Man United, especially when the Carrick came and they looked better defensively. But he's been after that. He started 2 or 3 games and then he's just got benched since.
But because you've had a wild card, you're going to have to take him out at some point, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was
It's a
thinking
bit of
to.
a shame you can't do it this week. Yeah, you could do a hit. I mean, you could use your 2 free transfers, couldn't you?
Yeah. No, if I sold Mateus Nunes for Anderson, which I'm going to, then I would have some extra money.
Yeah. Let me think. What could you do here? Yeah, because even getting rid of Matt, you're a bit financially tied down here, aren't you? Because
Yeah.
players you want to get rid of, like Mane and Heaven, are all very cheap.
Yeah.
So if you took Enzo out for Wilson, would you then have the money for Heaven to Anderson?
Then I could check right now.
Because I think that would be a nice move
Yeah.
to make this week.
And so
Get 2 Fulham players in.
Yeah. Yeah, my thought process was to sell Mateus Nunes for Anderson and bring Wilson. No, that's
yeah. I mean, Mateus Nunes though is kind of useful.
Yeah,
going forward.
he has a double.
City have got decent fixtures.
Where's Fulham? Let's see.
Because Heaven's looking like someone you have to sell.
I have to move. Weeks. Yes, I can afford that. I can afford Enzo to Wilson and Heaven to Anderson. That's actually good advice. That's a move
I like that move a lot because it covers you for 2, especially Anderson is so hugely owned.
Absolutely.
And with that fixture they've got, he's got the DEFCONs. He could get, well, he probably won't get an attacking return, but he could get double figures.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I'd do just to get rid of Heaven.
Yeah. That's a move I didn't see, but now it makes way more sense than selling Mateus Nunes, who might have or is probably going to have a double coming soon.
If you had him in since you wildcarded, I imagine you might have lost a bit of money on Heaven then.
I had O'Reilly before my wildcard, and then Mateus Nunes was performing during that time. He got a couple of assists, and O'Reilly he got benched a couple of game weeks. So I was like, it makes sense to sell him and bring Mateus
around
Nunes
Christmas.
to my wildcard. Yeah. So and then O'Reilly with 2 game weeks, just those 2 game weeks when he scored.
Nunes has done very well though. He's done very well this season. He's going completely under the radar.
Yeah, no, he hasn't been bad.
Yeah.
So that's my recommendation for you. So I've helped you, which is good. So.
Yeah, that was very.
Can I ask? I don't know if you guys discussed it while I was away. Salah captain over Bruno?
No. That was just I forgot to change the captaincy when
you click scan the screen. Yeah. I don't think many people are going to be doing that after last game week.
No, I don't think so.
Scores a hat trick tonight, they might change your minds.
Let's see, but unlikely, highly unlikely. But as I said, the captaincy might go to Wilson if I'm bringing, which I think I'm going to.
Yeah, go for it. In your position, I'd go for it.
Yeah.
I'd go all in on Fulham and just hope for the best.
Okay, let's move on to my team. So Trig's team, sorry. Trig has got 3 free transfers, 0.7 in the bank. He's got, how many players have we got here, Trig? You've got 10. 10
maybe
starting
9,
players.
Because Tarkowski's possibly injured.
Yes.
I haven't found out the extent of his injury yet. Maybe someone in the chat can let me know if he's out or not.
So Sanchez away to Everton, Virgil away to Brighton, Tarkowski if he's fit at home to Chelsea, Anderson at home to Burnley, Wilson flagged, but he played, didn't he? So he wouldn't be flagged anymore at home to Burnley, Dango away to Leeds, Captain Fernandez away to Bournemouth, Elliot Anderson away to Spurs, Rice obviously is blanking, and then Ekitike away to Brighton, Thiago away to Leeds, and then the Bradford is obviously playing on the bench along with Gabriel, Haaland, and Lacroix, who we presume are almost certainly, Gabriel is definitely blanking, and Haaland and Lacroix probably are. So yeah, talk us through it, Drew.
So I need to bring in. We'll assume that Tarkowski's fit for this discussion. I think I need to bring in one player. I don't want any bench cover unless I hear that Tarkowski is a 50-50 job. So I'm either going to take out Lacroix for possibly Malik Chow or Rice to Gordon, simply because of that ownership factor of what people are doing. You know, I don't want to get caught short with 2 goals from Gordon when all my rivals have brought him in and I haven't. So it's
no word on Tarkowski apparently. That's from an article out 5 hours ago. So
yeah. So if he's not fit, then I'll probably do both the moves. I just get Malik Chow in and Gordon and just go in with 0 on the bench, and that will leave me with 2 free transfers for after my wild card. But ideally, I'd like to only have to make 1 this week. So I'm very well set then for the week after the wild card, when I'll be back up to 3 transfers, I guess, wouldn't I? So, which would be perfect, because I think that would carry me through the season just about, having those safe transfers.
Can I question you, Trig? I mean, this is probably one more for next week, but I heard Let's Talk FPL Andy talking about it, because obviously when we wildcard, we're probably going to have lots of Arsenal, lots of Newcastle, lots of Brighton, but Let's Talk FPL Andy presented the idea, wildcard in 32, have Fernandez away to Leeds, sell him in 33, because this is obviously going to take transfers, which is, you know, why I'm mentioning it when you're talking about rolling transfers. And then obviously he doesn't double in 33. You can free hit him in 34 against Brentford. Then he plays Liverpool, and then you buy him back in 36.
Is this Bruno we're talking about?
Yeah. Because he's the one player that you think that's stupid. Because he's the one player I do fear selling. Yeah. He's the one.
Why would you sell him? You're going to lose value on him. So what if he's got Liverpool? They're not up to much. I mean, they'll have probably Champions League and other fixtures to worry about. Man United have got none of that. It makes no sense. It's overcomplicating things for the sake of content, in my opinion. And it's probably something he wouldn't do. He'd just talk about it and just play with a straight bat. There's no need to overcomplicate things. I mean, why would you set up a transfer to remove Bruno? You don't want to be creating extra transfers for some blooming ridiculous, overly complicated scheme like that, to be honest. How did he get to 1K?
And Andy of all people.
I think someone messaged him as an idea. I think it was one of the questions on his, preview.
Yeah. No, it's
no, I don't know. Because he's the one player that I fear not having. I don't think I'd go.
Why wouldn't you have him though? Who's saying we're not going to have him?
Because usually when you wildcard, you try and get in at least 11 doublers, don't you?
Oh, I see. No, I'm going to have Bruno. He's a guaranteed single player starter. So
I know. We can come back to this next week when we're talking more about
exactly. It's the wrong week to talk about it anyway. But you don't have all 15 doublers.
The reason I think it's relevant, Trig, is you were saying about keeping your transfers. That's what made me think about it. Is if you were going to plan something like that, you need transfers to do it. You know what I mean?
But they're more to cover for injuries, my transfers, not to use them for some kind of weird plan like that.
Any thoughts on Trig's team ideal?
No, I just like it the way it is. As I said, I would probably just transfer Rice, and he's already got Wilson. So Gordon seems the second best option. Barcelona now, by the way, 6-2 up. What is happening to English teams? Yeah, no.
Yes, I think I prefer Gordon over Malik Chow because I've got the option for both. So Sunderland haven't been great though, have they, lately?
No.
So it could be a clean sheet for Newcastle. So maybe I'm better off if Tarkowski is injured, and then I can get both. And because otherwise I'm just going to get the wrong one. If I get Gordon, it'll be Chow gets the points. If I get Chow, it'll be Gordon gets them.
Yeah.
So having both is possibly good to have both. And I'd still have a spare transfer left for the next game week. Yeah, because Tarkowski's not got a good fixture anyway, has he really? But I mean, he probably could do okay against Chelsea. But
again, depends which Chelsea turn up because it's so hard to predict.
We get hammered this week, isn't it?
Bad Chelsea.
Chelsea got hammered. City, I don't know if you'd say they got hammered. Now Newcastle got hammered. So it really isn't going well in the Champions League.
It's not going well,
isn't it? And a month or two ago, everyone was like, whenever one of your players scored in the Champions League, people going like, "Oh, it's only the Champions League. They're all rubbish. They're all rubbish." And now it's the British teams that are rubbish.
It's because we're in the knockouts, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they've woken up, haven't they? These big European sides.
Of 5 teams.
6 goals.
Sorry,
Look at that.
No, I was
I
going
know
to
you
say,
were going to say that.
of 5 teams, we could potentially only have 2, assuming that Liverpool has the best chance probably to going through, because I don't see Tottenham overturning it. I mean, you never know, but it's highly unlikely. So if Liverpool goes through, then we have only Arsenal and Liverpool from 5 teams from just this round.
It probably helps them, the fact that the likes of Man City have gone out. So it's probably increased Arsenal's chance of winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
So they don't have to worry about City anymore, do they? Or only of the British teams.
Yeah.
So 2 goals for Lewandowski in 5 minutes.
Oh, he's amazing. How old is he now?
It's 7 now. Wow.
7. Poor Nightmare. We're going to have to check up on Nightmare. Right? He's going to be in the shed.
What is happening?
I've never muted guests on the podcast before, but I may have to. They keep mentioning the score here, ladies and gentlemen. Can we get on to it?
Goals for 3.5. They've scored 7. They've scored twice as many goals as they were expected to.
Shall we move on to my team? So I've got 2 free transfers. I have 11 players. I've got Keller away to Leeds, Hall at home to Sunderland, Virgil away to Brighton, Elliot Anderson at home to Burnley, Dango away to Leeds, Fernandez captain at home to Bournemouth, Sposlow away to Brighton, Stack at home to Brentford, Haaland I'm playing in the very, very off chance that he might get a fixture in 31. It doesn't hurt me. If he doesn't start, Enzo comes on from my bench, who's playing. Ekitike away at Brighton and Thiago away at Leeds. And I think based on our conversation tonight, gents, I'm probably going to do nothing because, I mean, the thing is, like, with using a transfer to potentially, which I did think about at the start of the game week, Sunday, strengthening at the bench. Okay, Ekitike might not start, but he's probably going to come on, isn't he? So I think strengthening the bench is pointless, to be honest, because I don't see anyone. I can see a couple of players that might not start, but I can't see anyone here who's not going to come on. So I'm thinking of just rolling, and then, as you said, Trig, I'd then be carrying 3 free transfers into the wild card, which would leave us in a decent position to attack the remaining, 7 game weeks?
Yeah, very decent. And hopefully there'd be no injuries on your wild card and you have another free transfer. So you'll end up with 3 or 4 with only 5 weeks left, which would be perfect, wouldn't it?
How come you're not starting Haaland on the off chance he might start through?
What?
How comes you're not starting Haaland on the off chance? Oh, you haven't got him.
What do you mean on the off chance?
You have got him on the off chance that the 31 that game does get put back in 31. There still is.
Oh well, if it is, I will start him obviously, but I'm just.
But we won't know. We won't know until before the deadline. That's why I've got him in there now. Because it could be that they put it. It could be like in 2 or 3 weeks time, right at the end.
Oh,
so that's why I've got him in.
Thanks for telling me that. So yeah that's. I didn't
stick him in just in case.
Yeah, I did
stick him in just in case.
So maybe I should keep Lacroix in that case and stick Lacroix in as well.
possibly. I mean, the odds are like 5%, but
if I do that, then that means I sell Rice instead of Lacroix. So that's another plus in the Gordon tick for
But
Gordon.
who would you
Well,
bench in
we'll
that
find out,
case?
won't we? No, but we are going to find out tomorrow night, aren't we? Probably, because Palace are going to beat that team from Cyprus, and then it's no longer a option.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah.
So
But
if they do lose, then I have to start Haaland.
Basically.
Because
I mean,
well,
you don't lose anything, do you? You don't lose anything. He just doesn't. And I love that, when it looks, people look at your team, they think you're having a terrible game week on FPL, and then it brings him in later on or whatever, and they're like, oh my God, he had Enzo who got a hat trick.
I was going to say it first.
Sorry.
No, I was going to say you rate Enzo so little that you've benched him over Haaland blanking this game.
Oh, he's been horrible. I got him in on the wild card. Trig, remember a game week 7. He was useless. I got rid of him. He scored loads. Got him back in. I mean, to be fair, he did get a couple of returns when I brought him back in for Chelsea's good run. But that was the same time. I didn't get Palm. I didn't get Pedro. And they absolutely... I mean, me and Trig were about the same rank, weren't we, mate, before that Chelsea good run?
You were actually...
I might have been slightly, and you've gone... We were about 100k, and Trig's now, getting near the top 10k, and I'm struggling to keep up in the top 200,000. But are you a fan of Enzo, Ideal?
No, not at all. I only brought him because of that run of fixtures that they had. They had 3 home fixtures and 1 away, and they all were green.
Same.
I tripled up, and I brought Chalaba as well, who was rubbish that run. So yeah, it's been disappointing, to say the least.
Yeah. Okay. So
he was off, wasn't he, yesterday? So I think he's out. Chalaba went off on a stretcher. I don't know why Gordon's still playing, by the way. This is worrying me a little bit. They've got one more sub they can bring in. They're losing 7-2. Surely you take Gordon off and rest him for the weekend now, because there's no way they're coming back from 7-2.
I wonder if Nightmare will do a shed run that has nothing to do with FPL.
I mean, those Nightmare shed videos are just...
I sent him a message earlier on. I said to him, do you think we had a chance tonight? Because I didn't have much hope, which is one of the reasons. But a few people in the chat said, why am I not watching it? I prioritise the Pubcast and you guys over everyone else. But also, I saw something like this happen. But he genuinely thought we could have done it tonight. And I think he's going to be disappointed. But anyway, okay, let's wrap up. Please join us. Please like if you're new around here, and subscribe if you're new around here, and like to help get the stream out there. Thank you very, very, and please join us to the FPL lock-in. I will come to you both in a minute. Please join us to the FPL lock-in. I'm assuming me, Kanji, and Darius on Saturday we'll be reacting to the games. And on next week's podcast, it is the quote-unquote GOAT crew of Trig, Nightmare, and FPL D Unit. And we will see if me and Trig have activated our wildcards by then. I think Darius, mate, I think he's on wildcard 32 as well. And we'll see how we got on in the blank game week. Ideal, how's your first live stream experience been? Thank you so much for joining us, mate.
Perfect. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's been amazing. So I hope to be back again. I've never done. I always wanted to do, but I've never been invited before, and it's been really fun. Yeah, totally.
Can you give us a bit of a? So there is. Please do go and subscribe to Camper's channel. I've put a link to his channel in the video description below. Do you want to give us a bit? Slightly different take, certainly visually. Do you want to give us a quick description of what you're doing over there?
Of my channel, yeah. I just had that vision before I had been thinking of starting a YouTube channel talking about FPL, because I don't have any friends or someone in the family who was into it or is as obsessed as I was. And then I just wanted to do something different. And then I had that vision. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I just figured it out. I was like, okay, this is what I want. I want myself.
Describe what the vision is.
Yeah, it's a background of a camping scene. It's in the forest, and there's a fireplace there, and I'm just sitting next to the fireplace, and I'm talking about FPL. So I screen record myself on the phone while I'm recording myself with a camera in my bedroom with a green screen, and it looks like, yeah, on the editing, it looks very high production, but it's not really. I mean, it's just figure it out. I have a background video that it looks like a camping site, and I put some jazz music background with low volume to give that vibe, yeah, to give that calm, relaxing vibe. I like to watch videos at night, so this was my thinking when I started to think about my channel, that I want people to watch this at night and enjoy it and have a relaxing, calming scene. You know.
Have you thought of actually going camping and doing some?
I have a lot of times. The problem here in Norway is with weather. It's the only good weather is in the summer, or predictable weather, and then the rest of the year is just, it could be rainy, and it's a lot of gear to bring with. So I've definitely thought about it, and I think at the end of this season, I'm probably going to do 2 or 3 videos in the real camping. But
that'd be cool.
And the summer, there's no football.
It doesn't even get dark, does it, in summer?
No. Also, I could do it at 11. Yeah,
it gets
under the dark late. Yeah. Depends how north you are as well. But even here in Oslo, it's 11 o'clock is still pretty bright at night.
So what time in the winter, in December, how many hours of daylight do you get?
Here in Oslo, we get maybe 2 or 3 max. But I lived in Tromsø before, which is way up north, and there you have an entire month, like from mid-December to mid-January. There's no sunlight, or the sun doesn't come to the horizon. None. For an entire month.
Do people not suffer from vitamin D deficiency?
They do, and there are recommendations here to eat a lot of fatty fish and take vitamin D supplements. And they also have these lights that you can have that, I don't know what they do, but they're supposed to simulate the sun or something.
Yeah, because people with seasonal affective disorder have that.
Yeah, they get season depression. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be the worst place to live. You've got that particular condition. So please do subscribe to Camper's channel in the description. Trig, shout out again. Excellent video last night. I really enjoyed that one, mate. On not about the game week, about how to be a good FPL player, basically, wasn't it? Do you want to plug it, mate?
Yeah, it was like looking back at how I used to play the game back in 2015, wasn't it? I was reading off an article that I wrote back then, and it was amazing that really people now play in that exact way, don't they? That I was playing all that time ago. It was kind of ahead of the curve in that sense. You know, we've now got people that play exactly that way.
I think your words were Harry Campers is, of course, Harry Sarrett YouTube channel is basically copying Trig 11 years ago.
Yeah, the way I used to play it is how a lot of those people play now, isn't it? Where you're looking at effective ownership, you're cutting down on your risks of big red arrows and playing it all with a straight bat. And it is the way to play. I mean, I got a bit bored of it. Well, not really bored of it, but the pressure to keep getting those good ranks kind of led me to move away from that. And I started looking for differentials and
if that was working, why did you change them?
Because I think I had a rank of like 1700 and I wasn't very happy. And because I didn't get in the top 1,000. And I just started to change the way I played gradually. And I think everyone started using review and all of those things. Algorithms started to come in at that stage, kind of 2018, 2019. And I just got a bit bored with that type of thing. So I started playing like Darius, like taking hits and bringing in differentials and calling everyone sheep. I went through like a phase of playing like that.
And my ranks got worse.
Now my ranks got worse, and but like about 3 years ago, I thought, I'm going to go back to. I reread all my blogs and that from that year, and thought I'm going to go back to basics, which is what I've done now. And last year was 35k. This year I'm 35k now, so it's kind of improving again. So going after differentials. I mean, it's all well and good, but and your audience wants you to do it. You know, you get accused of being boring and everything else if you don't. But it is the best way to play for a reason. You know, there's a reason why these people are getting in the top 10k every season, and it's because they're playing the game properly, basically. So
my problem is I've always played the game properly, but I can never. Well, I have had a couple of top 10ks or one and nearly, but I always end up being around 100k. So obviously, I'm lacking that extra magic that the Trigster has.
Yeah, but even 100k is good now, isn't it? I mean, it's inside the top 1%. I mean, you know, if you play it properly, you're going to be in a range between top 1k and top 150k, probably, aren't you? So, depending on your luck, or maybe if you have a really unlucky season, you might be like as low as 500k, possibly. But you are going to be in that kind of zone. So you've had a couple of top 10ks already, which is very good, isn't it?
Well, 1 and 12k, but I sort of can. Lads, you know, I've got to win the
there you go.
No, 3k and 12k. Those are my best two.
Yeah, I mean, they're very, very good ranks, aren't they?
Yeah, I forgot to end the poll. Bruno, best captain for game week 2020. Game week 31. Bruno, 63%. Wilson, 21%. Gordon, 8%. Someone else, 8%. It's Bruno, isn't it?
That's huge, isn't it? It's a lot more definitive than last week.
I think that's probably the biggest one since we started doing the polls like a couple of months ago, Trig.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer for me. I think for Camper, probably go Wilson still, based on his rank. But
you get a captain. Oh, right, Wilson.
He's probably he's equally as good a captain, I think. Obviously, he's not on penalties, is he? But he's got a better fixture. He's at home.
Yeah.
Could easily get a 15-pointer.
Where do you consider a good rank from where you are now, Adil? Is he 900?
I never really think about that, but I don't know. I think maybe inside 500k now. I mean, I would love to be inside 100k. Yeah. It depends. I mean, you could have 2 or 3 good game weeks, and then you can,
you can still do it.
Yeah.
I've done it before. Been a million now and still done it.
I think if you had the wild card trade, but without the wild card, I reckon top 200.
Oh yeah, he hasn't got a wild card. Yeah.
But
you just got to be different now and hope for the best.
And also, I think having the wild card now might overthink things a little bit. Like you said earlier with the Bruno Fernandes, sell him, bring him back. So I don't have that problem. I have to be certain whatever players I bring in, they're going to be there. So it depends. I mean, it could go both ways, but hopefully I'll get a couple of green arrows till the end of the season.
There's a bit of an obsession with having players that play 2 games. When you've got someone like Bruno who really probably outscore most of them in 1 game.
Yeah. Bruno single game week or Enzo double game week?
Yeah, exactly. And that double game week's probably got Arsenal involved or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's only 4 assists off of breaking Henry's record for most assists. It may even be less than that.
Yeah, 3.
Did you see that graphic I had in my show last night where he was on the top far right and everyone else was down on the left? Chances created, yeah. It was absolutely ridiculous, wasn't it? Literally twice as many as anybody else.
I'm not going to speak badly of him because, the friends of the channel, FPL Black Box, but I remember Mark Southerns and as having a conversation. It's got to be 2.5 years ago now, maybe 3, saying that Bruno's finished as an FPL asset, as in forever. I hope no one ever clips that and plays it back to them because, I mean, he was crap for a long time, wasn't he? But
yeah. The difference from last season, Salah, Palmer, Saka were like highly owned players and they were returning, and Bruno was just a no-go. And this season, Bruno is the reliable one for captaincy, and at least at this point of the season. It's just how things have changed in one season.
I mean, DEFCONs have made a little bit of difference, but it was mainly the way he was being used, I guess, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's the problem. Carrick certainly brought the best out in him.
Lads, we wrap up. So again, thanks so much for joining us, Ideal. Thank you. This is probably the lowest number of live viewers we've had for about 6 months. Obviously,
you've got a good excuse.
Exactly. But for those 60, 70, 80 people who have been watching during this time, really, really appreciate you. You are the hardcore. And thank you also for anyone listening back on replay. Yeah, so we will be doing a podcast next week and join us for the lock-in on Saturday. Cheers, everyone. Have a good game week.
Cheers, people.
Cheers, everyone.